Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to keep sipping because y'all know I'm always running late. We had a few technical difficulties, so today's no different than any other. If anything else, I pride myself on consistency. So while y'all come in, I'm going to sip my cab. Y'all know Tuesday is cab night. Before I forget, let me say happy birthday to my bestie, Selena. It was yesterday, but whatever. Happy birthday, Selena. Hey, everybody coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me for another episode of The Southern Gent Presents Here I Am. I'm back to Eddie tonight. Kelly Cassadine really appreciates all the love y'all show for our show Friday night. As you can see, I'm barefaced. I didn't win, but the competition was still honey. Those ladies and gents were seasoned performers. But I feel like I still held my own. And it was my first competition, but the love shown online and even from other entertainers really gave me a little boost to probably keep going with the drag. I don't know. Do y'all think I should? Hey, everyone. Do y'all think I should keep going with the drag or not? Type in, let me know. I'd have to really consider it. After the day I had, I need this Cabernet. So tonight's show is sure to bring you some insight into two subjects that disproportionately affect the Black community. I started Here I Am because I wanted to highlight issues and like that affected me and many others that have reached out to me. This episode is called Pink and Purple Awareness, and I'm excited to be bringing you awareness to breast cancer and domestic violence. I was supposed to have two guests for y'all, but shit changes. You'll just get a little more comfortable with me tonight. My guest needs no introduction, but I will say this man has been such a joy in my life. In my church queen days, which wasn't that long ago, he really spoke heavily into my spirit. And we've known each other for many, many years. And he is none other than the incomparable Vance Stacks.
What's up, Eddie? What's up? How are you?
Vance, thank you for joining me tonight. This is long overdue.
I'm glad to be here, sir. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I'm doing great. So, how are you today? Like, how was
I'm
your
good.
Tuesday?
Today was a good day. I have good days and bad days, but today was a very good day. So hey,
Okay, we counted all joy. Ain't that a song?
right. Don't let me put. Don't
You
let me
here
put.
in Atlanta?
Don't let me
Say that
pull the.
again.
Don't let me pull the tissue out early.
Ooh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I got on a little bit of a face tonight, and this is the cheap makeup, so it may come off.
Don't do it.
So I saw you here in Atlanta probably a couple of weeks ago, and I knew I had to have you on this month because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And although it's rare by being most often found in women, it should also be known that men can get breast cancer too. So about one in every 100 breast cancers diagnosed in the United States is found in men. And Vance, you beat the fuck out of breast cancer. As one of those rare cases, why is it so important that you continue to share your story with us, the public?
Well, what happened is when I went to get my diagnosis, it was a shock because I didn't know at the time in 2013 that men could get breast cancer. I've heard about it, but I didn't know anyone or experience anyone that had breast cancer. And so when my doctor told me that I had breast cancer, I called him a lie. You know, that's a woman's disease, and that's what I believe. And thus here it is, 7.5 years now, and I'm a two-time breast cancer survivor.
Two times.
Two
Woo,
times.
that's double. Because
Two
I can
times.
run right now.
That,
If I had,
that,
I had on
that I told
flats,
you,
I would.
we got to take this very slow because I'm so overwhelmed and joy. Uh, the mortality rate for men is like 80%.
Wow.
You find out um, in the third phase or the fourth phase, and it's too late because you have no symptoms, you have no leakage, you have no soreness. It's just a numb. And then by the time you start feeling the sickness or the pain or the leaking, it's too late. But thank God I had a car accident and went to the ER and they did a chest X-ray and they saw a little black dot. They sent me to the doctor, and my first diagnosis was negative. It wasn't anything. They did a
Mhm.
biopsy. 2 weeks later, after the biopsy, that knot that was there was a small dot because they penetrated it. It grew to the size of a baseball. And I
Wow.
went back. So I went, not a baseball, a golf ball, I'm sorry. So I went back for a second opinion, and they did another biopsy. And I went in that Monday to the doctor's office, and that Thursday, they were planning my surgery for that following Monday.
Wow. So the progression that can really happen. So, what would you like to tell men about breast cancer?
Um, don't be afraid of it. Most men that I, most men that I meet, or don't be ashamed of where I'm. Don't be ashamed of it. Most men that I meet are ashamed of the word breast cancer. Uh, since I've been going through this, I've met a couple more men, not many. There's a support group for men, and I've met a couple of men, and they all call it chest cancer because they don't want to use the word breast cancer. Thus, they don't get to share their story because they're afraid. I don't know. I don't know why the word breast makes such a big difference to them, um, but because of that, they don't get an opportunity to share their story with other people. I spoke at Channel 13 News here in Memphis, and when I was walking out of the studio, you could see all the men in the studio start self-checking themselves, just like a woman checks herself. You every morning you should feel your breast for any type of abnormalities or knots or cysts or anything, and you should check it because most of the time you don't, as a man, don't have any pain or any symptoms. When you start painting, it's too late. It's already in stage 3 or stage 4, and it's too late.
Wow. So I really admire your strength and your bravery in being so open. How do you feel now that you're a two-time survivor?
The first time was enough. Uh, I didn't have to go through chemo the first time, so it was more of a medication type deal. So it was not as harsh as the second time. The second time I found out, went to the family reunion, got sick, and started having some of the same symptoms I had before when it got. But this time I went, it was in stage 3, and I immediately started a uh, aggressive regimen of chemo, which is very hard on your body, very very hard on you. But I made it through, and with the help of God and the help of my friends, you have to have a huge support system because there are days that you just don't feel well. There are days that you're hurting so bad that you don't want to get out of bed. But thanks be unto God for good friends that came by on those days I didn't want to eat. They made me eat. On those days I didn't
Mhm.
want to get out of bed, they made me get out of bed. Those days made a huge difference in the way I made it through this treatment.
And it's definitely said that community support, which is our community, our tribe, our close friends, really lends a big help into our healing, like physically, emotionally, spiritually. So I think that goes to show
Right.
that support is really important. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. We have people that didn't know, and I knew it happened before, but I had never known anyone to have been diagnosed with breast cancer, man diagnosed with breast cancer. So when it happened, I can remember just praying feverishly, like just asking for just your strength, your guidance, and all of that, because I hadn't known about the first one. So now that I look back and see the transformation that you went through from going through those moments and then coming back now when I saw you in person, I've never seen you that happy before.
You know, this second time around, you and I told you I'm not gonna cry, but this second time around meant so much to me. The first time, yeah, I took it seriously, but that second time when I was in stage 3 and I could have lost my life, the second time, it made me more aware of life. Now I live life more fully now. I live life like every day, really. You know how you say that, you're supposed to live life like it's your last moment? I live life like it's my last moment. I'm so grateful to God for a second chance. I have grandkids. I have a son that I still have to raise, and grandkids I want to see. So I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm so grateful for this moment in time just to be here, just to enjoy life. So, yeah. So, yeah, this second time around meant something totally different than the first time.
I love it. That new awakening. So, how can people really support the cause?
Well, glad you asked. I am about to launch a nonprofit for male breast cancer, and the title is called "Pink Ain't What You Think: Male Breast Cancer Awareness." Because most of the time, people see that pink ribbon and they think about women. They never think about the men. They never think about the men that have suffered with this disease. They never think about the men that have died with this disease. And like I said, the mortality rate in men is much, much higher than it is in women. And so we need to bring awareness, because there's nothing here in Memphis that lets men know that you can survive this. Um, and I want to start a support group when you're going through chemo, in case you don't have those people to call and check on you. It's very taxing on your body. There are days you just cannot do anything. And if it wasn't for those people and my community connect, coming over, making sure my house was clean. I mean, the simple stuff, taking my trash out, so that, just the simple stuff meant so much. And the reason I started Pink Ain't What You Think is because of the need I saw when I was going through chemo. My first day in chemo, nobody told me how it was going to be. So I went there. It's a 3-hour process. You're sitting up in a chair. You have fluids and chemicals going into your body for 3 hours. I thought when I got there I was going to be laying in a bed or something of that nature. No, I'm sitting up in the chair. I'm sitting next to people that are getting chemo as well. Some people it's going well for, some people it's going bad for. So you got people yelling and screaming. You got some just moaning in pain. So all that is taxing on you. Then it's cold in the facility because they have to keep it at a certain temperature. They didn't tell me to bring a blanket. They didn't tell me that I was going to be there 3 hours to bring us some snacks. So I was very upset. I was very hurt. I was cold. And this man came by. He's one of the helpers there. And he said, "Hey," he said, "Sir, are you cold?" I said, "Yeah." He went in the back and got this little ugly little blanket that had a little ugly dog on it. And he brought it to me, and I opened that fleece blanket and I put it on me, and it made the world of difference in my treatment. That little ugly 599 blanket gave me so much comfort that day. When I left there, I told my friends about it. I think I told you, I told my other friends, and I started this blanket drive. It's called Blankets of Love. And so every time I went to chemo, I took at least 15 to 20 blankets with me to make sure every person in there had a blanket. And when I put it on Facebook, blankets started coming from California, Chicago. I mean, this came from everywhere, and I was able to take 20 and 30 blankets with me every time I went to chemo, just to make sure somebody else was comfortable.
Mhm.
Then I did a food and blanket drive in front of the clinic, and all my friends came by at noon and dropped off chips and snacks and peanut butter crackers and cookies, and just to leave at the place so that nobody would go through the experience of my first experience that I went through. And I made a vow that as long as I'm alive, that place would never have an empty closet of blankets. And since COVID has hit, I've slowed down a little bit, But as soon as we get back into the swing of things, I still have a closet full of blankets here that I got to take down to the place. So if any of your viewers want to donate blankets, just hit me up on Facebook, Vance Stacks Jr., and I'll give you my address. Those little $5.99 blankets mean the world to a cancer patient going through chemo.
We definitely will support that. As soon as I get off this live, I'll be sharing all of that information, and I'm super down for the cause. So keep me informed. As I mentioned
All right.
before, always gave my spirit a stir at church, honey. But some people also knew you from your amazing Halloween parties. Why do you think it's important to have a balance in life?
Yes, I love the Lord. Yes, I love him with all my heart and soul and all of my being. Come on, give God some praise. But I still, and God knows my heart. The reason I threw parties here in Memphis, it was to create a safe place for us that we could come. There's no fighting. There's no robbing. There's no steal. I mean, we had for 15 years we had a great time without any incidents, and I pride myself on that. I wanted our community to have a safe place to come without any fear of anything. You can let your hair down, be who you are. You can go to your car and go home safely. You can come here, and that's what I was proud of, is that we had the environment where everyone could came and everyone was safe. And that was the main reason that I threw parties. It wasn't uh, for the money or the fame. It was for the safety of our people and making sure that we had a place to go, that we were safe, and we had a great time. That's what it was all about.
Love it. Like, I can't tell you how much good trouble I've gotten into at those parties. But I know we're in a pandemic, but one day will there be a resurgence, down the line?
Throwing those type of parties is a lot of work, and some seasons in your life just change. Hey,
Hey,
but
I get it.
I throw small events now, very small.
I get it. So we know that you have Pink Ain't What You Think. So will you be doing like a big social media drive? Because I got you on the social media side if you need any help or anything.
Yeah, once I get everything in line, because I'm not going to move and jump on it until everything's in line, and then once everything's in line, we're just going to go do a big open day, social media. I have to have storage space because if it's like anything like what happened last time, I mean, I had boxes arriving every day, and I didn't have any space in my home to keep them, so I had to rent space so that we could have these blankets. One day, I think one week, I had 250 blankets.
Whoa.
I had to put them in the shed. But within two within 2 months, all those blankets were gone. So that's how big the need is. If not here in Memphis, even in your hometown, you can find your nearest cancer clinic and donate blankets. Every cancer patient needs blankets. They need to bring a blanket every time because their place is so cold, and you're putting medicine in your body that is killing your red blood cells. I'm sorry, your white blood cells. So, thus, you're always cold. So,
Yeah. So this has been awesome. Do you have any like final words for the viewers? Because I know I've left with some insight. I know I'm gonna help my friends do their checks. But do you have any final words?
uh, just get yourself checked. Check yourself every morning. It only takes a minute or less than that. Just feel around your area. If you feel any knots, any cysts, even if they don't hurt, even if they're benign, it could be a cancer cell that's growing. Like I said again, most men don't have any symptoms. You have no pain, no redness, no leaking. All these things women have. We don't have those things. If you start seeing leakage and pain and redness, you're in the third or fourth stage, and it's getting close to too late to turn around. Um, so It's easy to just check yourself in the morning, make sure that you have no lumps or any pain or any redness, anything. If you do, don't pass it up like we always do as men. Go get it checked. And it could that could be the life that you save, may be your own.
Ooh, the life that you saved. Maybe I'm gonna tweet that. Okay, Van, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Like I said, you're always a delight. So definitely, people hit up Vance Stacks Jr. on Facebook to talk about the blanket drive and the organization. And I definitely want you to come on the video, type in your name so people can follow you and do all of that cute stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So don't go too far. Love you much.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Peace out. So I told y'all earlier that I wanted to bring awareness to two causes. So let's get into the purple part of October. Domestic Violence Awareness Month was first observed in October of 1981. It was initially called the National Day of Unity and is held every October for advocates across the country to come together and join efforts to end domestic violence. As a survivor of domestic violence, I suffered in silence for many years, and this is probably the first time I've spoken about it with so many people that I actually know that are watching. I've always spoken out against DV, but not so much my story. The details aren't necessary, but just know that your strong friend may also be the one involved in an abusive relationship. I always tell people to get out if you can. I completely understand safety is a concern for many, but remember that love does not require physical harm. Some of the signs that you can look for are your partner prevents or discourages you from spending time with your family, friends, or your peers, or going to church or wherever you go. If they insult, demean, or shame you, especially in front of other folks. If they prevent you from making your own decisions, including working or attending school, controlling your finances in the household without your discussion, which includes taking your money or refusing to provide money for those necessary expenses like bills that come up in the house. So if they pressure you to have sex or perform sexual acts that you're not comfortable with, there should be no sexual act that you have to engage in if you're not comfortable with it. So that's another form of abuse. And then also pressuring you to use drugs or alcohol. So recognizing some of these signs out of the many ones that are there. So what's been said about abuse is that it's a learned behavior. And some folks grow up with it in their household as kids. Some people get it from their friends, pop culture, or another structural inequity that society places on us. But irregardless, abusers make a choice in committing an abusive act. So remember that they can also choose not to do so. And don't let the excuse of it was the drugs or the liquor fool you. These things do not independently cause abuse. So there are plenty of resources like the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And if you're in Memphis, West Memphis area, Love Doesn't Hurt. These resources have safety plans and valuable information about ways to support those being abused, even for the abuser. So I've had some family members and some close friends that have been the abuser. There's help for the abusers as well. And there's also help on how to talk to both sides of the abuse if you're a witness or a concerned friend. So I want to thank you all. This is a quick show tonight. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And today's show hopefully gave you some insight into what you can do to support the causes. And I love y'all for real. And remember, life is about moments. Don't wait for them, create them. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing this weekend. So if you're in the Huntsville area, hit a brother up. I'll be there Friday through Sunday. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's EdWiley06. For questions, topics, and requests to be a guest, inbox me or send an email to igobyeddy@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from y'all. Next week is sure to be a key with my girl Carissa. So join me next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love y'all. Bye.